Alright, so this video is going to be more of the simpler algebra problems. We're going to start with the simplest and work our way up. The first problem is going to be x minus 2 equals 1. This one's just all you got to do is from the left side, you add 2 to make negative 2 0. But what I like to do is I just like to carry it over the other side and change this to a positive. So what this is going to turn into is 1 plus 2. And that is going to end up as x equals 3. The second problem is 2x minus 2 equals 1. All I gotta do is the same thing as the first problem. You bring the 2 over to the right side as a positive, so it ends up as 1 plus 2, and that ends up as 2x equals 3. And what you do from here is you just divide the left side by 2 to turn it into 1x, and 1x is just x. And by dividing 2 from the left side, you just divide 2 from the right side as well. And the answer will be x equals 3 divided by 2, or 3 over 2. Next problem, we're going to have a fraction added to the x, so it's going to be 2 over 3x minus 2 equals 1. So what this is going to end up being is same thing as before, carry the 2 over the other side, that end up as 3. I'm going to skip this part. So what you do when you want to turn a fraction into 1 is you just flip these two around. So I'm going to draw this on Microsoft Paint real quick. So here it's 2 over 3. If you want to turn it into 1, you just multiply it by itself flipped upside down. And that turned into 6 over 6. And 6 over 6 is, of course, 1. So by multiplying that flipped over itself, you would do the same to the other side, so that it end up as 3 times 3 over 2. Oops. And how this works will be 3 times 3 over 2. These two numbers will multiply, and it'll end up as 9 over 2. So the answer will be x equals 9 over 2. On this one, we're going to have fractions on both sides. So we want to get all the x's on the left side and all the numbers on the right side. So first, we're just going to move the numbers to the right side. And as always, when we move it to the right or to the left, we reverse the sign from negative to positive. So that ends up as 1 plus 1 over 2x plus 2. And we can simplify that by adding this 1 by this 2, and it ends up as 3 plus 1 over 2x. And what would happen here is, since we want to move the x to the left, we're going to subtract this right side by 1 over 2x. We're going to subtract it, not multiply or divide, because we're bringing it from one side to the other. We're not simplifying it. So when you bring this to the left side, it's going to change the positive to a negative. So it's going to be 2 over 3 minus 1/2 x equals 3. And I'm sure you know how to add and subtract fractions, but I'm going to go over this real quick too. So what's going to go on here is it's going to be 2 over 3x minus 1 over 2. And all you got to find here is a common denominator. So for the bottom, you want to make it the same. So the closest common denominator for 3 and 2 is 6. So in order to become 6, you must multiply 3 by 2. And when you do that, you multiply the top by 2. So it becomes 4 over 6. And to become 6, 2 has to multiply 3 times. and we multiply the top by 3 as well, so that'd become 3 over 6. And the answer to that will be 1 over 6. So this will end up as 1 over 6x equals 3. And since we're simplifying this, we're going to divide it by its reverse. Divide this fraction by its reverse. And the reverse of 1 over 6 is 6 over 1. And that's going to end up as 6 over 6. And that is, of course, 1. Okay. Let's backtrack a little bit here. Since that's 1, this can end up being 1x. And 1x is, as I said before, just the regular x. So what we did to the 1/6 is we multiplied 6 over 1. So we're going to do that to the right side as well. So 3 times 6 over 1. And 6 over 1 is 6. So we're just going to leave it as 3 times 6. And the answer to that will be 18. And here come the square roots. Find x if x squared equals 20. So what happens here is just, let me use square roots. For example, this one is x squared over 20. We're just going to take this, since it's 2, the answer will be x equals the square root of 20. And if you want to simplify it even further, 20 is divisible by 10 twice. So 10 and 2, and 5 and 2. 10 is divisible by 5 and 2. So since there's 2 2's, we're going to bring those outside of the square root, but we're going to leave the 5 inside. So the final answer to x squared equals 20 is going to be x equals 2 to the square root of 5. So for the cubed isn't going to be much different at all. All we're going to do differently is when we square root it, you're just going to add a 3 to the top of here. And for this one, don't bother simplifying it. It's going to just remain at 20.